Jack and Jill here.
Hi.
Welcome to the JackJill Show. It's here that we provide entertaining real estate investment advice. I'm Jack Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit, broadcasting this week from sunny Southern California, and it really is sunny today.
And warm.
And warm.
Today, Jill and I talk about Big City Days on Market Review.
I was going to say, I just talked to a guy a little while ago in Jersey.
Yeah.
And poor guy, he knows right where we are. And it was really hard to not tell him that we're riding our bikes around. And he's like, it's 30-something degrees right now. It's just like awful cold. And I felt really bad.
Of all the excuses you've heard about why you wouldn't move just to a better life, forget about California. Like, what are some acceptable ones and what are some unacceptable ones?
Of all the excuses, let me see here.
I have to tell you, I don't understand.
Okay, wait. I've heard a lot. We all know people that just think it's for everybody else. It's not for them, and I don't understand that whole concept. Like, oh, that's great, good for you. I couldn't possibly. Why couldn't you? Oh, I just couldn't. Usually, I think the worst excuse is no excuse. They don't even have an excuse. They just say, oh, I just couldn't. Oh, no. I just know that I can't. They don't even give an excuse.
I think maybe it's just
stupid.
Small talk. Oh, you're so lucky to live there. Just like, oh, it's great weather we're having.
So they probably don't even believe, they don't even know that they can do that.
It's not even on their radar yet.
Yeah.
It's just
they don't even
talk.
cross their mind. Oh, really? What? What do you mean?
Right.
You move? Like you sell your house? What? Like you get a different job? Wait a minute. Why? But you don't have to shovel snow? I have a lot of questions.
So I just got off a call from a guy from Indiana, and he lives where we live. And he's lived here for like 10 years. His wife is from Orange County, just like you.
Awesome.
And
she must be really cool.
He said, welcome to the neighborhood. He said, how do you like it? I said, there's no way I could live anywhere else. There's no way. Unless it was something really wacky, like some tropical island somewhere or something. And he said, this is a conversation my wife and I have once in a while. Wow, it's expensive to live here. Okay, well, we're not moving.
That's nice.
The only reason
it's the same as our. That's the same as our conversations. You weekly, sometimes daily, say we couldn't live in a more expensive area. This makes Santa Barbara look good. And what's your point?
And then I said, but then I always come to the conclusion that if we really did live in somewhere else that was a lot cheaper but nice, like Scottsdale's a good example. A lot cheaper but nice. There's riffraff.
Yeah. You can't get on your bike and do all the stuff that we do here.
I know.
I'm
just talking about money.
Where else can you ride your bike to your boat?
I know. Well, no, I agree with you.
Yeah. You have a pretty good life here, Jack.
I know. I'm not complaining.
Thank you. Good.
It's expensive.
Good, because I wouldn't listen.
The only thing that's really expensive when you break it up, like, look, McDonald's still has a $1 menu here.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Our utilities are not crazy.
They're cheaper.
They're cheaper than Scottsdale. That's true.
Food in the grocery store is cheaper than it is in Scottsdale. It's just real estate.
Insurance is about the same. Don't have any big thing there.
Actual real estate cost is kooks.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it.
That's it. What about income taxes?
They're way higher here.
I told one of our employees, I said, here's a deal about Southern California. It's awesome to be an employee here. It stinks to be an employer here.
As an employee for W-2 income, it's tough, man. There's probably no worse place.
But I mean, as far as benefits taxes. And health stuff, it's different here. I've noticed in California,
is way cheaper.
The stuff that's all included and provided, and all the stuff that the insurance companies are required to do, and stuff in California, it rocks. I'm like, this is great. But anyway,
you just get tangent. You get massive sticker shock on. But you can make up in other ways. Make sure you don't have a car payment. There's a bunch of things you can do. Where there's a will, there's a way.
True.
Before we get into our actual topic,
we have one.
We will do that. Let's take a question posted by one of our members on the JackJill.com online community. It's free.
Okay. John S. asks, hi, everyone. I've heard you guys talk about the different types or places to get data to use to send out offers. What is the best way to do this? Oh, sounds like a new person who just recently found us. I love it.
You know what John's real name is? Jack.
Oh, did you put this in?
Yeah.
Oh.
Here's why.
go.
The reason I put this in there is because I was getting it from so many different other venues that I decided to just create a John S. question, which we do once in a while here. Truth be told, we're all about telling the truth. So there's
when it comes to work stuff, that is, not age or anything like that. I've been
well, that's for you. So I've been answering questions in Bigger Pockets lately, and there's constant stream of questions about where do I get leads? Here's the questions that I get. Where do I get leads? Where do I get a list? How do I know who to market to? And I'm copying and pasting and then rewording so I don't get busted by the Bigger Pockets police. My answer, so I decided to answer it here, because I would argue that we have a bigger audience than Bigger Pockets does. But anyway, look, you can't. ListSource is not a good place to get leads.
For what we use.
For how we do this. Concentrating on back tax property, foreclosure property, people who just got divorced, people who died.
Right.
Any specialization like that is not a good idea.
It's the right company. It's the wrong stuff.
Here's another bad idea. Seeking out property based on what its looks like.
Yeah.
What you want to do is this. Let's cut to the chase. Send offers to anybody and everybody in a given market who owns a house that you've identified as an acquisition candidate. 1,500 square foot house, SFR, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, built after 1974. Everyone gets an offer. Dead or alive or foreclosed or divorced or it's back tax or anything. Mm-hmm. It costs you 50 cents to find out if they're going to sell you their property. Because you're not looking at the piece of property. You're looking at the situation.
Can I add a note?
Sometimes people, recently we purchased property from people who are they just want to move. Mm-hmm. I call it the garage sale mentality. If somebody sells a broom at a garage sale on a Sunday for $4, and you know it's worth $25, it's only been used once, the buyer knows it, the seller knows it, but everybody wins. They shake hands and say, man, you solved my problem. Both.
Yeah, I want out of my garage.
That's how you buy real estate. And so it's really unfortunate, Jill, that there's so much bad information out there about how to buy real estate.
Yeah.
I could 24/7 just answer questions in Bigger Pockets on this topic. That's why I chose to do this.
Everybody gets hung up on thinking that there's going to be a secret. You know what I think part of it is? I think people think there's a secret. I have to go for this product type. This is the secret sauce. No, you can really blast everybody. Does not. I mean, do it the right way. Get the best date on the planet. Scrub it down. Make really decent, well thought out, real offers. You know, those are some of the things, and let them call you back.
Here's what else doesn't work. Sending a postcard does not work. Mm-hmm. Sending a letter of interest does not work. Sending an offer works. Mm-hmm. Sending a letter that has some color to it, like a yellow letter, doesn't work.
Putting $1 in it doesn't work.
Putting $1 in it doesn't work. Handwriting, choosing a font that makes it look like your handwriting, but it's
really
not,
handwriting
doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
We've tried all these things, and it's
inefficient.
I see people laughing. I see people who own printing companies and stuff laughing with each other while they're taking these orders. Click to mail, yellow letters, people like that. They're overcharging people. They have no real experience in the industry, and I see people on Bigger Pockets one after another say, I had a bad experience here with these guys. I had a bad, because they don't know.
Right.
So truly, Jill's right. There's no tricks. It's really simple. You send a bunch of letters out to everybody, and if you do it right, you include the purchase price, you include a closing date, and you make sure it's a cash deal. And by the way, only send offers to people who do not have mortgages, or they have real old mortgages, so the property itself has a really low loan to value. You're going to win every 2,000 to 3,000 letters you send out. So you're going to spend about $1,500 or $1,000 on mail. You're going to buy a property and you're going to mark it up 20 grand, 10, 20, 30. In Southern California's case, $100,000. So the numbers really do work. The postcard thing, I'm convinced, comes from people looking at postage rates, and the one that's the cheapest is postcards.
Right.
Let's do that. It's cheaper.
Exactly.
Let's save $50 on this mailer.
You run such a risk of people just, you know what it is? You're sorting through the mail. I don't know about you, Jack, but when I see a postcard, I don't even look and see what it is anymore. It immediately goes in the recycle bin.
Yeah, my shredder's real close to my desk.
So, yeah.
For that reason.
There you go.
Today's topic, Thank you for letting me rant. Big City Days on Market review. What the heck is Days on Market? Why do you guys keep talking about this so much? Days on Market, Days on Market. Days on Market. Every area, like Big City, has a slightly different definition. But in general, what it is I call a real estate agent. They list my property. That starts the clock. And then my property gets sold. And how many days on market was it? How many days was it on the market? That's days on market. And the lower the number, the better. So if a property was on a market in Seattle, let's say, these are real live numbers. Seattle has the lowest days on market in the country. We're going to look at Boston, Chicago, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Seattle, and Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
And here's where I'm getting this data, and it's
You
free.
did some homework on this, Jack. Thank you very much. Can I just sit over here and just kind of relax?
Yeah, absolutely.
Put my feet up. I'm going to
Sure.
get some tea. Thank you.
When I get too boring, just chime in.
Okay.
That's all I ask.
Okay, cool.
So I'm pulling this data off of, it's called Redfin Data Center. If you Google that, it has nothing to do with Redfin real estate agents. Redfin Data Center, which I really appreciate. And you can download it, put it in Excel. It's quite honestly shocking, the amount of data that you can get for free. And it goes back from 2012 to like current month, last month, all the way to like November. So Seattle's days on market, this is real time, was like 10 days. I mean, that's truly amazing.
I mean, that really is the shortest of all those cities you just listed.
Yeah. Boston is real
That's
close at 14.
Amazing.
Washington, D.C. jumps up to 27. Philadelphia, not too different at 38. And then now national, like all the markets together, 45 days. It's still fine. 45 days is fine.
Wait, national? How many out of like every major city or
Yeah.
just that group?
No, it's every major city and every zip code that Redfin covers. So bear in mind, it's not. Some of the more rural places are not in this statistic.
Wow.
Let me just put it this way: for houses, the markets that matter are involved in this.
That's cool.
Los Angeles, same number, 42.
42K.
And then coming in a little bit higher is Chicago, which doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
And then so it's tough to audio like this without you seeing it. Just trust me, take a look at the data that you can get. I'm going to list off what you can get in all these markets. And you can get it down to the zip code. Any zip code, you can do it.
Was it days on market for the last 30 days or last month?
30 days. Everything's 1 month.
Okay.
One fiscal month. So the calendar month. I'm sorry, calendar, not fiscal.
Okay, cool.
Let's talk about new listings in the same market.
I'm still wrapping my head around these numbers. This is good. Does it have, okay, and it takes into account all price ranges? May I ask some questions, please?
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is houses only, SFRs.
Houses only. Does it take into account whether it's a $100,000 house or a $2 million house?
No.
Oh. Wow.
Because you're thinking of Los Angeles, but most markets the variance is not that much.
Well, Seattle could have some big ones too. You know what I mean? So this is good. No, I mean, it's even better that it includes them all. So that's cool.
Let's look at sale prices, shall we?
Yes.
Los Angeles, $600,000 average sale price.
In the last 30 days?
In the last 30 days.
Okay.
And this is October of 17.
LA County?
Los Angeles.
City. Got it.
Los Angeles metro market.
Ah, thank you. Okay.
Seattle, 550,000. Boston, 450. Going down, obviously. Washington, 430. National, 300,000, which really surprises me.
Huh.
Because I thought it would be a lot lower than that.
Wow.
Chicago, 235. And then Philadelphia, no surprise there, it's 220.
Wow.
So I'm just scratching the surface. Price per square foot.
Oh, I like these numbers. These are the best. All right. I hate to say these crack me up because this is the kind of stuff that I'm sure there's people that are listening that sometimes you go, yeah, that's about right. And there's other people that go, what the heck? Whether it's really, really high or really, really low. It's interesting. So, sorry, go ahead.
So while this, a lot of people their eyes roll in the back of their head when you just hear these numbers. But for me,
real.
Why am I bringing this up and why is it important? It's so important to learn how to use data and read data and analyze it so you can send offer campaigns out intelligently and buy some undervalued property. That's what we do here. Los Angeles.
You know what, Jack? I have to interrupt for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Before you, I didn't know data was so cool.
I know.
I have to tell you
think
that.
it's cool?
I do. I really do.
hilarious.
I walk around spewing out data, and people are like, "Who are you? What happened? And what happened to Jill?" Seriously, my friends are like, "What the heck? Is
On
she
behalf of
drinking
all
something over
men,
there?"
I apologize to all women for making you a more boring person.
Oh, for making men or making me?
Making women a more boring person on behalf of all men.
Wait, on behalf of all... I don't know. I think it could be more attractive to some men. Don't you think?
I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to leave my apology and let it stand.
All right. Oh, thanks.
Los Angeles, $400 a square foot average. This is 1 month, last month. Seattle, $270. Boston, $250. Washington, D.C., $188. There's no surprises here. National, $160 a foot.
Wow.
Philadelphia, the same. Oh, Philadelphia's $140. Sorry, and that's where the bottom is. Philadelphia and Chicago are the same in a $130 area. It costs about $100 to $125 to build a new house, just the construction costs without the land. So I would argue that there's a few markets in here and if you really drill down by zip code, you can find some amazing markets where it's well below replacement costs. You can buy a house that's 10 years old. That's a lot cheaper than actually building a new one.
Yeah.
In Los Angeles, there's no way.
Like a car.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, but the one statistic that is actually kind of new to me and really tells you what's really happening is called sold above list. So you list a house for $100,000. What does it really sell for? Well, you would logically think if you sell it for $100,000, list it for $100,000, it's probably going to come in around $90,000, right? Well, that's not the case in this market right now. It's a little scary. In Seattle, 43% of the properties sold for above list. And if you
wait, 43%?
43% of all the properties that sold last month in Seattle sold for above the list price.
That's way more than that are doing my strategy.
That's a staggering statistic to me.
You know, the strategy that we talked about, you know, the one where sometimes people will list them for super low to elicit a bunch of offers real quick.
To create an auction. Yeah,
so that's I think this number screams of they're not doing that. That's too high.
I'm not sure if that's associated with this, but
okay.
I understand your point. There are some real estate agents who intentionally list a property dramatically below what it's actually worth on a retail,
right,
to incite seemingly unintended auction, and that's a pile of malarkey, if you ask me.
Right. No, so I don't think
that's a problem with real estate. One of the 1,400,000 problems with real estate agents. Anyway. 40% of the properties in Los Angeles sold above the list price. And then on and on. Boston, 38. It moves dramatically down. Nationally, it's only 20%, but that's still staggering. You know, and none of them are zero. None of them are zero, and that's just amazing to me.
That's so cool.
If you drill down to the data, and we're getting a little long on this.
Wait, what was the national percentage you say again? I'm sorry.
22%.
22% nationally of the homes sold in November were above the listing price.
Yep.
Wow.
That's scary when you think about it. Now I can drill down. We're running out of time on this episode, but you can actually drill down, and this statistic blew me away too. That you can actually see. It'll tell you how much. So it's a list price to sale ratio, and it's a number. So if all the properties in a zip code, for several of the zip codes that we're analyzing to send mail out right now, have this statistic, 0.92. And so what does that mean? It means that what was the sale price to list price to sale price ratio in the zip code that you're looking. We spend a lot of time buying and selling in Arizona, so I know it by heart. The markets that we're in are 92%, so it's like 92.1, meaning if a property is listed for $100,000, and this is all averaged out, $100,000 it sold for 92,000. So what that tells me is if I want to buy undervalued property, let's say 75% of actual sale price value. Now I have an actual sales price value, and I want to go in at 75%. Now my pricing scenario I know this is getting complicated and boring, probably. Mm-hmm. The pricing scenario is it takes all the mystery out of pricing.
It does. So now you really know. I mean, you can really sit down and go, all right, I know what these are going to sell for.
Yeah.
So now I know what I'm going to offer, and now I know what I'm going to sell for to make it better for my buyer. So I got it.
So finishing on this, we know that lots of brooms every day they sell in Home Depot for $25. So if we go buy a bunch of brooms in a garage sale for $4 and resell them for $10, we're going to do great.
Exactly.
And it's the same thing here.
Yeah.
So I know this is a drawn out kind of numbers, and I can see I microanalyze everything. And one of the things I analyze is how well these episodes do. This one's going to be the worst.
Well, you know what? That's exactly what I was going to say. So based on your numbers, I know that 0.12 of our listeners are really going to enjoy this show. Just kidding.
You're a listener who listened to the end of the show. You're in the 0.111%.
Oh, you are in the 0.11, and that's your problem. Like Jack says.
Well, you've done it again. You've wasted another 20 minutes listening to the Jack and Jill Show. Join us tomorrow where we discuss how Jill's negotiation approach, how and why it's so effective. Much different episode.
Oh, goodness. And we answer your question should you have one. So go post it on the Jack Jill online community. It's free.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
So you actually, I'm intrigued by those numbers. And I purposely wasn't looking at your screen so I can't see it so I can feel it like everybody else is. And so that's why I was trying to ask those specific questions. No, I'm serious. I'm not just sitting here wreaking havoc. I'm trying to ask good questions. But those are interesting. Now it's like, you know what? I would sit down and listen to the show again and write those down and really pay attention to it. Or you know what, Jack? You just elicited for me, I would be going and finding it and looking it up.
That's what I would do.
And really like going, wow.
So that's what this
it tells a lot.
It was not to just sit here and talk about LA versus Philadelphia. No one cares about that.
Nope.
But if you're a data person and you're kooks, like I am, and the vast majority of the people in our group, our investment group are, you're going to say, what? You can get that kind of data?
Right.
I'm going to stop the car right now.
Well, everybody on the planet, let's be honest, they want to know where to find these deals. What are the good hot areas? And that's how you're going to find them. You're going to see right there. You just talked about it. So,
Jill, you nailed it. There's no tricks. There's no secret anything. It's just analyzing data.
Exactly.
That's the whole thing.
If you love that and you love all this fun, please share it by subscribing on iTunes or wherever you're listening. And while you're at it, please rate us there. We are Jack and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.